What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Antoine Simien, alongside my co-host, Erik Johnson, and this is Entertainment is Wrestling.
And before we start, really quick, I just want to say, if you like this video, you want to see many more of it, and you like our conversation, you like what we talk, you love hearing news about wrestling, recent updates, if you can't really follow it because you're busy, if anything, if you have time, please like, comment, and subscribe. We love to hear from you. We love to hear that you watch our videos, that you like them. Please, any feedback is great feedback.
Definitely. Great feedback. We want to hear everything from you guys. Comments, questions. We're hoping to, get some of these questions and stuff on the show so we can actually analyze them and revert them back to you guys. We really want to hear some comments from you guys. The show is going to be amazing, guys. We got so much stuff to cover. I started this show because, first of all, there's no San Francisco Bay Area wrestling podcast out here in the Bay Area. I mean, I couldn't find one.
No, not really.
Can you find one?
Not at all. Not at all. There's many type of podcasts. There's all types. You have video game podcasts. You have people just blogging about their lives. But there's many wrestling podcasts, but those are more like Central United States, more East Coast type podcasts. We're a more West Coast type. We're kind of giving our view of wrestling as a whole, not just WWE, but all around wrestling.
Definitely. We want to cover everything. Mainly, we're going to be covering WWE shows like Raw, SmackDown, a little bit of Main Event and Superstars. We're going to dive a little bit into TNA, Luchador Wrestling, a few local wrestling events that go on around the city as well. Just to kind of draw some comparisons, similarities between the different companies. But yeah, we really felt like it was a show that needed to be started, especially just because of the how unattached wrestling is to the Bay Area, And when I was thinking of the show, I can only think of one guy who I could have co-hosted with me. It's my boy Erik right here, man. Erik, why did you decide to pick up my call and accept my invitation, man?
Let's say, well, I can start off with the story. I just got out of class, and class ended early. Wasn't too long ago. I got a call from Antoine. Mm-hmm. He told me, spun this idea to me about a show. He told me how there wasn't really much West Coast podcast about wrestling. And he told me he wanted to start one. He told me how it was going to go, what he wanted it to be about. And from the moment he started, I was on board directly. Because we talk a lot. Whenever we have a conversation over the phone, directly after Raw, directly after SmackDown, anything wrestling that happens, he calls me, I call him, we talk about it. It starts from one subject to, did you see what happened at the end of Raw? To a at least 2 hour conversation. We can go all the way from the beginning, like Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan eras, all the way to the future NXT era. Mm-hmm. And it's excellent conversation, and we thought that we should bring this conversation, not only keep it to us, but bring it to you guys as well. Just to hear, for you guys to hear what we're talking about, for you to give us some feedback, to join the conversation.
Definitely. We really want you guys to be a part of the show. This is what it's about. It's about bringing the fans into the wrestling world, having them able to, relate to others they see online and be able to go, oh wow, after I'm done watching Raw, what else? Oh God, I'm really juiced about, that new Money in the Bank winner or whatever. And you want to get online and see what the hell we're talking about. We're going to be breaking it down, cause that's just what we do. We love wrestling. We love to break it down. We love to analyze it. Mm-hmm. I also feel too, this show, it's really going to bring about a bunch of other topics, health and fitness, as it relates to wrestling. Mm-hmm. And, just being an athlete and being able to compete in the ring and do all those crazy moves. I mean, it takes a huge level of athleticism to do it. And
takes a toll on you too.
Takes
a big toll
on you.
I don't know if people know it. I don't know if young children know it, but it's not necessarily fake it's more scripted. Like, they know what they're gonna do. It's real. Like, you can't not jump off the top rope and land on the ground and not hurt yourself. If you land wrong, it's gonna hurt regardless. If you do it the right way, they're trained professionals. They know how to do it. That's why they stress so much, please don't try it at home. I say the same thing. I don't know what to do. I'm not a professional. I don't try it at home. It's real, and it actually hurts. It's... Oh, I can't really say it more real than that. It actually hurts. Yeah. But it's something that should only be done by professionals.
Definitely. Only done by professionals. Don't try the stuff you see on TV or the internet at home, except for this, obviously. If you want to, chop it up with wrestling with us, we're more than happy to have you along here in the studio with us.
Exactly.
But yeah, wrestling is, it's fake, but it's very real in a lot of ways, like Erik covered. Those guys are doing insane moves, jumping off the top rope, getting smashed with chairs, going through tables. It's a huge toll on your body. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but to entertain, these guys put their bodies on the line, to entertain guys like us, people like you at home, just loving, John Cena or Dolph Ziggler, whoever superstar you may like. Those guys are definitely, they're in it to win it, and their bodies are taking the toll. And it actually brings me to one question I have for my boy Erik here, man. So, why did you get into wrestling? Who is your favorite wrestling superstar?
So, when I got into wrestling, I got not necessarily. I don't necessarily like to admit this to most people, but my man, it's kind of hard to say. But I got into wrestling. I got into around the Ruthless Aggression era, post-Attitude era.
Yeah.
And it's not really something that's said, oh, you got into around the Ruthless Aggression era. That's cool. Most people like to say they got around the Attitude era. That's the big era that everybody likes to say, I love the Attitude era.
That's my era.
Exactly. I want to be around your era, but unfortunately, I'm got to say my number one favorite superstar of all time has to be John Cena.
John Cena.
Just because what he stands for, that hustle, loyalty, respect can actually be, it's actually something that can be a part of you. It's something that can lead you, it can keep you going day by day. It's something that if you're going through something, if you're stressing, just don't give up. Never give up. Yeah. It's something that's it's on his towel every single day.
Definitely.
He shows it.
And it's something he's been rocking with for years. He's never really gone away from that, that kind of agenda, that persona he has. Hustle, loyalty, respect. It's
not a gimmick. It's actually personifies him.
I see.
And it's something he wants to push. It's not push upon people, but it gives people something to believe in. So he's more of a role model and kind of like somebody that you can look to help you. And I see that, and it kind of motivates me. And I believe like hustle, loyalty, respect. It's guidelines to live by. And that's the thing everybody should believe in.
Definitely.
Respect everybody in around you. If you give respect, you're definitely going to earn that respect. And if you want respect, give respect. The hustle, keep going day by day. Your job may be hard, but keep going.
Definitely.
And the loyalty, keep loyal. Well, it can work in relationships, obviously. But
be loyal.
It's loyal to yourself. Don't ever be something you're not. Always be yourself. People are gonna judge you. They're gonna put prejudices upon you. But if you're loyal to yourself and you be who you are every day, you'll be happy. Don't ever be something you're not.
Wow, that's very interesting because I've always hated John Cena. I didn't like the guy.
That's hard to hear.
I can't even lie to you, bro. I didn't like the guy, man. But John Cena is. I feel like he's gone a long way, and I feel like him sticking to hustle, loyalty, and respect, and me seeing him for so long, and him just sticking with it, and the way kids and fans gravitate toward the guy. I gotta respect him. Huge respect for John Cena, and I really started becoming more of a John Cena fan after I went to WrestleMania. this past one out here at Levi Stadium on March 29th. It was a great event. I went out there and I seen John Cena do some moves I had never seen before in the ring. I mean, it was crazy. The springboard stunner, that dude jumping off the rope and then catching Rusev and doing a Stone Cold Stunner on him. Like, it was phenomenal. But not just that, just the admiration that he had just coming out, on stage, and he had, the American troops with him, and, and he was really fighting for the United States title. And I feel like, it was more of a battle between, Russia and America. And of course, being an African American, you got to go for America. But
of course,
also, those three words, hustle, loyalty, and respect, had me in the crowd. Instead of saying Cena sucks, I was out there saying, let's go Cena. And seeing him the next Monday Night Raw, I had the same feelings toward the guy. And I think it's, it takes a while, I think, for people to build up to John Cena, especially older fans like me who come from the Attitude Era days. And, like, believe me, guys, Attitude Era, it was, guys were ruthless, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin, man, that was my guy. Middle fingers up, and he's talking trash, and, he's a redneck, crazy guy. He coming in on his beer trucks, throwing beers everywhere. The guy was insane, but my favorite wrestler, and the reason why I got into wrestling, Kane.
Kane?
Definitely Kane.
You don't hear that every day.
For those of you who don't watch wrestling, Kane, he red mask, back in the day, red suit, he was Undertaker's brother. That was his whole gimmick coming out. He actually wrestled in the WWE for a long time. He'd been other kind of characters. He was like this bum character with like no teeth, and all of a sudden he becomes this masked villain named Kane who's going against his brother, the Undertaker. And for me as a kid, it was the greatest thing in the world to see a guy come out 7 feet tall, the same height as the Undertaker, look the Undertaker right in the eye and say, hey, I'm not scared of you. And actually, I think this was the first time the Undertaker was actually like scared on camera. Of course, it was part of the whole creative structure of the storyline, but it was just interesting how they were like, okay, these two are really comparable. And, my brother, he was a giant Undertaker fan. I liked the Undertaker. I thought he was really good, but when Kane came along, I instantly gravitated toward him. Every video game, I had to play with Kane. And I think it was just his gimmick, man, that red crazy flames going against, his outfit, and how he had, the guy would, have the pyro coming out and he put his arms up and down, and it was crazy. He ripped, cage doors off Hell in the Cell matches. The guy was insane. And he never spoke. He never said anything. And it was just that mystery about him that made him awesome to me as a fan, as a kid. And Kane, even to this day, even though he doesn't wear a mask now and he's corporate Kane, I like mask Kane much better, y'all. But corporate Kane, corporate Kane is not going to be around for much longer. Let's put it that way. They're going to be throwing that in the books, but
I gotta comment on that.
Yeah.
That has to be the low of his career. This has to be the low of his career.
It has to be, man.
Man.
You know what? I think it is because he's given up a lot of matches. There's a lot of matches where he has, and he just it's like, oh, Kane in a match. You can't take him that seriously as corporate Kane. No one can.
No.
Right?
No.
Did you take him seriously?
No. It's not really a scary because he's big type thing. Mm-hmm. It's a scary because of the power he has.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, if you want to really get scary and power, I'd have to say you lean more towards Bray Wyatt.
Ooh, yeah. Bray Wyatt. That's definitely a good one, man.
Because he may not have the corporate power, but he has the mind games, and it's something that he plays. It's his version of power, and his elusiveness and his, like, people don't know much about Bray Wyatt, which is the scariest thing.
Yeah.
And it's something that really works whenever he has kind of his, like, promos. And, for example, like his latest promo last night on Monday Night Raw with Roman Reigns, he had a tea party. And he was singing the song that Roman Reigns sung with his daughter in that commercial last year, the Father's Day commercial.
Oh, yeah, the one where he's singing to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically they didn't show the daughter, but they had him singing it, and he was like, I hope you don't stand us up, Roman Reigns. And he looked at the screen, and Roman Reigns kind of ran out the ring in his match, mid-match against Sheamus, ran out the ring, ran to the back trying to find his daughter. But they showed him the screen after he ran out. He said, I told you he'd come. And they panned out the screen. It was nothing but the empty rocking chair.
Ooh.
The empty little rocking chair. And he went into the room. And he went into the room that Bray Wyatt was in, but Bray Wyatt wasn't in there, nothing but the humming of the song. And he looked at the wall. I can't remember what the wall said, but it was something very eerie. And on the wall was nothing but a bunch of Roman Reigns pictures with the eyes and mouth cut out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Talk about mind games for you, right?
That doesn't give you nightmares, nothing will.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. Bray Wyatt, he's one creepy guy, man.
He is.
Speaking of superstars, man, I mean, the state of wrestling, where do you think the state of wrestling is right now? I mean, you've got the WWE Network, you got online streaming.
True.
I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, how popular is wrestling getting with all this stuff? I mean, what do you think?
Like, when it was, like, I think we're in the PG era now. Am I correct? I'm correct, right? We're in the PG era?
Yeah, it's pretty PG.
I gotta say, since in, like, early PG era, they weren't as big because people couldn't take it with them. And at times, most kids were watching, but that's kind of like the clean era. Most adults weren't because they really couldn't watch what they used to want to watch. But when they had WWE 24/7, it wasn't as big because it wasn't promoted as much as the WWE Network is now. But since they started the WWE Network, and you can go back as far as you want and watch the old style matches from the Hulk Hogan era, Stone Cold Steve Austin Attitude eras, you have the Triple H era, you have your John Cena era. You can go as far back as you want. A lot of people have leaned more towards the network and wrestling because you can go back and watch what you love.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'd say the future of wrestling, no matter how much corny this sounds, honestly, the future is Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
And I can make 1,000,001 points why. But one thing I gotta say, the reason why he's the future is because of his athletic ability and his way to wrestle. He can go high and fly. He can go high and fly just as much as Neville can, and wrestle on the mat with the best of them.
Wow. So that's the state, right? It's going. I mean, as long as you've got a lot of that new athleticism, as you said, that Seth Rollins has, the state of wrestling is going to continue to thrive. I mean, I feel you, man. The network, man, it's so amazing, man. They just uploaded the whole 1998. I believe it's 1998. The whole year of Raw.
Really?
The Raw Attitude Era.
Nice.
And it is insane. I'm not, I'd say I'm about like 2 months into it. I'm up in like December, but seeing Shawn Michaels and Triple H and some of the crazy stuff they were doing, I'm like, wow, man,
they crossed the line.
They crossed the line for sure. But that's stuff that you could only see on WWE Network, or if you find some website that has it or whatever, torrent it, I don't know.
Yeah,
YouTube, online streaming is amazing. I like online streaming too. Like I said, online streaming's free. You don't gotta, you don't have to worry about, subscribing or subscribing to stuff you don't want to subscribe to and whatnot. But that's usually how a lot of the times I'll watch TNA or Luchador. A lot of these shows, it's real hard to get to them. I don't have cable, unfortunately, but
I gotta add one more to that because a lot of wrestling fans are gonna get mad if we don't add this.
Okay,
Ring of Honor.
We have
to add Ring of Honor. We have to.
You gotta add Ring of Honor.
It's what NXT used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how I'd say Ring of Honor is, you go to Ring of Honor, NXT, WWE.
Yeah.
Because, you think about it, a lot of people watch Ring of Honor and they follow their favorite superstar all the way to the WWE. And they watch the changes and the gimmicks and everything that they go through. And you're more invested and you're more ingrained with that superstar. So when they officially move up to NXT or the WWE, but I can't say the same about Samoa Joe because he's been there since, he's been TNA and Ring of Honor and all those. And I gotta say, I haven't been with him since day one, but I'm damn glad he's in NXT now.
Damn glad he's in NXT.
Yes.
Man. Hey, that is real. Seeing Samoa Joe debut a few weeks ago on NXT, oh man, it was the most jaw-dropping moment I can say, at least in the few years of wrestling. I'm like, no way, Samoa Joe. And the thing is
he's moving on a big network now.
He's big time. NXT, I mean, you move to the WWE, that's the giant wrestling pedestal. Everyone wants to get to WWE.
Exactly.
No matter what wrestling company you work for. It's so great to go through those experiences. And I feel like you said, Samoa Joe, he's been through all of them. Ring of Honor, TNA.
Been in Japan, too.
Been in Japan wrestling. And now he's finally reached the big stage, and you can just hear the ovation in the crowd. The people really, really, hyping for him. And they were going loose in that crowd when that guy showed up. I mean, Kevin Owens,
man,
he's got a battle, man.
Yeah, because you got to admit, Kevin Owens is a hell of a wrestler, and I got to say, it got real when John Cena said, I want to give you some veteran advice. And Kevin Owens had to expose him saying, look, I've been doing this I've been wrestling longer than you have.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for over, I think it'll see, the 13 or 15 years he's
13,
been doing
14,
it.
Something like
yeah. And he's been doing it much longer than Cena. And I got to say, it shows. He's a definite veteran wrestler. And when you put them in the ring together, Kevin Owens shows up John Cena every time. I mean, John Cena put up one hell of a match.
Yeah.
But the way Kevin Owens comes back, move after move and move after move, and shows up John Cena, it's incredible.
Oh man, I agree. 100% agree. And I feel like, with these, super new but old superstars coming into the game, the state of wrestling, it can only get better. It can only keep fans. It can only get more fans. The fan base has to get bigger, in my opinion. Let's talk.
One more to that.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
The change of it. The way that if you look at the superstars in NXT, they're not as big and as muscly as the John Cenas, the Roman Reigns, the Sheamus.
That's true.
They can go with them. But they have more athletic ability. They're more flexible. And that's what I like the WWE is trying to push now. That it's not more big and bulky superstars. It's more, they can move in that ring. They can go in that ring.
Yeah.
That's how like high school wrestlers are. And college wrestlers, universities, they're not as big, but they can move. They can take down a big person in that ring. Yeah. And that's what I like the WWE is trying to move towards nowadays.
I agree. More athletic ability in wrestlers, and I feel like even that, like, it's almost good to be that like lethargic kind of wrestler. You know what I mean? It's good to be that, like, I say lethargic or whatever. I kind of mean like wrestlers like Dean Ambrose or even Kevin Owens or Bray Wyatt. These guys don't look athletic at all. You can say a little bit for Dean Ambrose. He's got some guns here and there, but just the craziness on how Dean Ambrose wrestles off the middle rope, and he's just swinging and flailing his arms everywhere. And then you look at Kevin Owens, the guy's got a giant beer belly, and he's able to do moonsaults off the top rope and moves you've never seen before. And you look at guys like Bray Wyatt, who's also got a ginormous beer belly, and the guy can do a crazy backward spider and there's this one move where he gets off the rope and he just jumps and throws all of his weight into the wrestler. And it's one of the most craziest moves, man. It's just, every time they say it, like, what's his name? my boy Bradshaw, always JBL. I always call him Bradshaw because that's how I remember the Attitude Era.
That's how you know you're from the Attitude Era. You call him Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, Farouk and Bradshaw, man, those are my guys. But JBL, every time Bray Wyatt collides with someone, he jumps in the air and hits his body toward him. What a collision! Every time, it's just a collision. And you know, and you can see older superstars like even the Big Show. He's even starting to do stuff like that, jump and hitting the people, and they call that the running bus. Yeah,
exactly.
He is, man. I mean, being big and athletic, it's like, you know, it's that in between with the two. You know, I think it's like it doesn't matter, you know, what size you are, as long as you can show people that you can do crazy athletic moves. It'll sell. People will watch it, and people will be entertained by it. Emerging superstars, man. There's a lot of them, man. Emerging superstars. Let's talk about Neville, man.
Oh, let's talk about Neville.
What's your feeling about
Neville? First off, I gotta say the Red Arrow. I gotta start with the Red Arrow. Mm-hmm. I have to start with the Red Arrow.
Red Arrow.
My goodness.
The Red Arrow is a special move.
Yes,
one off the top
finisher.
Yep.
The first time I seen it, I had to rewind it and break it down bit by bit to see how it's done. Because I thought, like, I looked at it and I was like, what the hell is he doing in the air?
Yeah.
So I noticed it's a twist with a flip on it. Mm-hmm. It's a 360 both ways. 360 twist and a 360 flip. Yeah. And when I seen it, I kind of stood up and kind of tried to twist and contort my body the same way. I didn't do the flip.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been good.
I feel you, man.
I wouldn't have been in front of y'all right now doing this video.
Myself, but
No, I wouldn't have been here. But I looked at it, and it's amazing at the degree of knowing what to do in the air and being able to do it again and again and again. Because you think about it, he had to practice that multiple times.
Oh my goodness, hundreds, millions, probably.
And you got to think about it. The first time he did it, he had to mess up, and it must have hurt.
Oh yeah,
pretty bad.
He probably broke something.
Mm-hmm. He definitely had to break something because when he does it, his legs twist and contort with his body.
Yeah,
and it's incredible at knowing where you are in the air to know when to stop twisting. Because eventually, when you're in mid flip and mid twist, you have to lose your sense of where you are. Yeah. And for him to actually know where he is at all times and to actually complete the flip and twist is incredible to me.
It is. I agree, man. That twist in the air, how can you possibly know where you're going to land, man? That's one of the craziest moves I think I've ever seen in the WWE ring. It's great. Adrian Neville, I still think of him as Adrian Neville because
I was gonna say, that's old NXT days right there.
NXT, man. He was the guy, man. I started watching NXT a while ago, and I remember he was going. He wasn't even the champion at the time. He was. Bo Dallas was actually the champion, who we're actually going to talk about a little bit later. But it was Adrian Neville, and he was trying to work his way to the top, and finally he knocks off Bo Dallas with that crazy red arrow, and he became, I believe, the longest reigning NXT champion. Yep. And it shows. I mean, his level of athleticism, it can't be denied. And at all. I think now that he's in the WWE, I think it's definitely he's definitely got a lot to go as far as his promos. Yeah, his developmental stages are still at the beginning. Yeah. I feel like his promos need to be a lot better, but his ring ability, there's no question about it. He is the best ring technician in that ring. Well, I can't say technician.
I was going to say technician.
He's definitely the most athletic in the ring. He can do the most flips and salts or whatever. But I feel like after a few years of learning promos, getting more advice from the creative team, and really working with other wrestlers, he's going to be a hit star. Definitely a WWE champion in the future, in my eyes, for sure.
I was going to say, when he first came in, they kind of gave him a pretty big push on his first pay-per-view when he had a championship match already.
Yeah.
I was saying, I love that he's getting this push and he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
But it's kind of soon to give him a championship because that's even quicker than they gave Roman Reigns the headline of WrestleMania.
Exactly. It's like Paige. They gave her the championship on her first day.
But yeah, that was kind of too big of a push. Too.
That was big. It was
that
a big
was
push.
really big.
Yeah.
But they're not stressing the Divas Championship as much as they need to.
That's
if you
true.
want to talk about that, it wasn't really as much as a shocker to everybody.
Definitely.
I mean, it was a shocker because it was her first day, but she's been raising hell in NXT.
Exactly.
Her whole NXT career. She's been raising hell since day one.
Paige is amazing. Guys, don't worry. We are going to get to Paige. We're going to get to Paige, y'all. Don't worry. We love Paige. She's amazing. But my boy Neville, man, they tried to give it to him on the first day.
No.
I mean, man.
Yeah, that was too quick.
Oh, my goodness.
Because
who is he going against? He was going against Seth Rollins, right?
No, Seth Rollins was too big at this point.
Yeah.
With the Authority. I think it was either Bad News Barrett. I think it was Bad News Barrett. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
My wrestling knowledge isn't that at its best right now, but I believe it was Bad News Barrett. And I was kind of hoping and praying that they wouldn't give it to him, but I wanted to see my boy Neville do something big. Yeah. But there was kind of a sigh of relief when he didn't win because he would have peaked too early.
Yeah.
And when you peak too early, you go on a straight descent.
You go down
because you're expected. There's too much expected of you.
Yeah.
Oh, same way that they dropped the ball on the Ascension.
Ooh.
They dropped the ball heavy on the Ascension.
I love the Ascension, man.
Yeah. Exactly. Because they came in, I'm going to say they dropped the ball since day one on the Ascension. Yeah. Because NXT, NXT was their yard. Off top. Like the Shield was, the WWE was the Shield's yard. Yeah. NXT was the Ascension's yard.
100%.
And the way they came in and started saying they're better than all the other old tag teams, that wasn't the right way for the Ascension to go. They should have came in and dominated the recent tag teams like they did in NXT.
Exactly.
And if they'd have had them run the gauntlet like they were doing the Roman Reigns now, we wouldn't see a bigger and better Ascension.
That's true.
But I gotta say, I love that the Primetime Players is WWE Tag Team Championship stuff.
Primetime Players, millions of dollars. Hey, man, we gotta love them Primetime Players, man. Bo Dallas, man. What do you think, man? Bo Dallas, had a little bit of a push.
I'd say, man,
what's going on with Bo Dallas?
I like the whole Bo leave thing.
Yeah.
But they should have pushed more of it. I mean, it was a little, the way they were playing it was a little gimmick at the start, and it still is.
Yeah, his little run around the ring.
They should have had it with bigger superstars, and they should have had to where superstars actually start Bo leaving. And it's kind of one of those gimmicks that should have had a following with it, but they didn't do anything with it. They just kind of had him fade out, and now they had him come back against Neville. They're trying to reenact the whole NXT rivalry, and it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. I understand. You know what? Bo Dallas, man. I mean, that cheesy smile, and it's like, he's a great heel. Oh my God, I love seeing him. Oh yeah, he's just. Why don't you like me? He's just got that voice and that look and that shrill in his voice. But I feel like the best thing for Bo Dallas would be to make a storyline with him and his brother.
Ooh, I was just gonna.
You know who his brother is, right?
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
Honestly, the first time I seen Bo Dallas, I was like, he looks awfully familiar,
right?
And I looked at him, and I was saying, he looks like Bray Wyatt. And I Google searched it, and they said he was his brother, and I'm like, why didn't they have him in the Wyatt family? Seriously? I mean, I kind of get it how they wanted him to do his own thing, and he probably wouldn't have fit out as an eerie, kind of condescending, big, creepy guy. He doesn't look like that type, but he looks like the person that would have a rivalry with his own brother.
Yes.
And they don't have to say that they're brothers, but their whole Bo Lee following and Follow the Buzzers following would be a perfect contrast with each other.
Perfect contrast. they conflict with each other.
Yeah,
you know, it's
opposites.
One's super evil and one's super nice. And the thing is like you can believe how insane and how diabolical Bray Wyatt's Follow the Buzzards is and how demented he is. But then like when you look at Bo Dallas, it's like how good is Bo Leave? It's like, I mean, you believe it, but it's not. I mean, there's definitely some evilness in his persona, and I feel like like you said, it definitely could be drawn out in a storyline between the two. I mean, I'd love to see Bo Dallas running around getting all these weird cryptic messages and not knowing where they're from, and it turns out it is its brother who's messing with him.
Yeah,
and I mean that storyline between Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas. Soon to come. I think they're definitely going to play it out. We may not see it this year.
But they have to. They have to.
They got to.
They have to. The same way I'm going to say Roman Reigns needs to get his hands on Seth Rollins.
Oh, he's going to get his
Dean Ambrose got his hands plenty of times, but Roman Reigns has never gotten his hands one-on-one. Well, he has, but one-on-one like the ladder match was this past Sunday at Money in the Bank. He got his hand. Dean Ambrose got his hands on Seth Rollins one-on-one in that match. No interference.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he had his fallout with the Authority. But Roman Reigns never got his hands one-on-one with Seth Rollins. And that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Because even though Roman Reigns' promos aren't the best, they've gotten better than what they used to be.
They've gotten much better.
He is an excellent in-ring performer. And the way Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would conflict and they could go at it in the ring, that's something I want to see.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't know if everybody at home agrees with me. They probably don't because not everybody's a big fan of Roman Reigns the way I am.
Oh, it's the Shield. It's the Shield. You know, we want to see that again. But no, I agree. You got to see the two go at it, man. And he's never really gotten his hands on him. Got a clean one-way match between him and Seth, like Seth and Dean. I think it's definitely going to be coming to us in the future. We're going to see Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns possibly at a WrestleMania, or it could possibly be a really good SummerSlam event too.
I gotta say too.
Yeah,
we might see that match. We might only if he can survive at Battleground against Brock Lesnar, which I say he has a 9% chance of surviving. I gotta say
9, maybe 8.
Maybe 8,
even 7.
We can argue for 10, but we might lose that argument.
Yeah, we might lose. That's Brock Lesnar. He's a beast.
Woo. Man,
golly, he finally came back. I cannot believe that.
Oh, it was Suplex City on Raw too.
A Suplex City.
It was Suplex City.
He took everybody out, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, they eventually got to him.
Yeah.
The numbers game built up on him, but for a short time, it was Suplex City.
Suplex City. Oh man, I can't wait to watch it. Oh my goodness, man! Xavier Woods,
emerging
star. You do feel like him with New Day? He's the vocal. He's definitely the voice.
He is.
He's pretty good on his on the mic. What do you think?
Oh, he's excellent on the mic.
He's good on the mic, right?
And I'm gonna throw this out there. A little bit of ESPN's first. Was it? I don't remember what it's called, but ESPN had a little segment on him, and they had a whole bunch of different superstars, and they had it on. What was his name? Don't knock me for this. I almost forgot his name for a second there. He was excellent, and his first gimmick when he came out with the Funkadactyls and Brodus Clay and Tensai. When he first came out with them, and they said that was awesome. It was heartwarming to me because he was. I can't. Hold on. Because it was too much soul in his movement. And
too much soul.
You can tell the way he was moving in the ring and he was moving with the Funkadactyls. He was actually having fun out there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and then he did the thing with his hair, and then the what I call it's like the I don't know. It was like the fro move. He just kind of whipped it forward, and you
And
saw
then
all
you saw
that
the
Jerry
hair.
curl juice.
And he was saying on the ESPN, he said he had at least, I think it was like 1 or 2 water bottles in his hair because his hair absorbs water.
Wow,
You can look at his hair and you can tell it absorbs water.
Yeah, it's like our hair. It's that nappy. You know what I'm saying?
And we make do though. We make do.
Hey, we make do, man. Right? You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, Xavier Woods, he's basic as an in-ring performer, but his mic skills are exemplary.
Yeah, real good. And I think it speaks to the fact too that he has I guess he's working on his PhD.
Yeah, he's currently working on his PhD.
That's amazing. I mean, how many WWE superstars even have a PhD? None that I can think of.
Gonna be the first ever. He said he's gonna be the first ever superstar, WWE superstar. I'm not sure if it's the first ever wrestler with a PhD. It might be, because I don't think wrestlers really pursue school as much as Xavier Wood is.
Yeah,
and I also say I love Xavier Woods because he's a giant comic and video game superstar as much as I am, and I feel that connection with him, and the way it's just something that attracts me to Xavier Woods.
Yeah, and the commonalities you guys have.
The commonalities we have,
yeah.
And I gotta in his mic skills. I'm going back to his mic skills again.
That's good.
They're really, really good, and I know they can be better. They will get better, but he has to, along with his PhD, he has to work on his wrestling skills. He's good in the ring, but he could be better. He needs something that can stand out in the ring, like other superstars have. Yeah,
more moves, maybe, just more combinations, and I mean, I really hate to see the frequent tag thing, and you can tell when a wrestler's not that good in the ring. They're doing frequent tags, and it's just like, oh, this game again, especially when they're heels,
But the way heels do it, you can tell, they tag out because they know they're good. Everybody knows they're good, but they're just doing it because they don't want the other superstar to get their hands on them.
Exactly.
But they hype it when they do that type of tag out. But Xavier Woods is not much people want to see him in the ring that much as they want to see Big E and Kofi.
Yeah.
Because Kofi has the excellent high flying ability. Big E has the strength.
Huge.
But he can move. And he's big and he's moved.
That man can move.
And his chest, goodness.
Good grief. I forget what he's mentioned, but I remember watching a video one day and he said he only works out 3 days a week and he only works his chest out. I believe he said 1 day a week, and he said he needs that much time to recover because his chest workouts are so vicious. He is pushing up so much weight that he needs time for those muscles to recover. And that just speaks to the fact of why his chest is so goddamn big, It's crazy. The guy is a physical specimen.
I gotta say, his chest reminds me of Ezekiel Jackson's chest. You remember Big Z.
Big Z.
You remember Big Zeke.
Big Zeke.
You remember, he had his last run he had with the core with, what was it? Wade Barrett. Well, Bad News Barrett. Justin Gabriel. Yeah, Big Zeke.
Yeah, big guy.
And he came in as the Brian Kendrick's bodyguard. Yeah, and he had that chest that was just not a game, and his traps weren't a game either.
Yeah.
And he would do the whole little flex thing, and his traps would just, it was, man.
And what happened to the guy?
He didn't have much going for him outside the core.
The muscles.
The muscles, they could have played on it. They definitely could have played on it.
Yeah.
The way they, the same way that Vladimir Kozlov kind of fell off.
Ooh.
But
that's bad.
I miss Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah.
Because, think about it now, he could have had a tag team with Rusev and Lana. That would have been a hell of a tag team.
Oh man, they would have been dominating America.
The way they the way they move in the ring.
Yeah.
And you have athleticism from Rusev. We can talk about him. Unless you want to talk about him now.
Oh man, we can get into. He's an emerging superstar. Let's talk about Rusev.
All right, let's talk about Rusev.
Rusev, woo, man, big guy.
He has the strength and the athleticism, and the way he moves in the ring, the speed and his super kick and his I don't have an exact name for it, but the way he can get in the air and actually kick you in the face.
Yeah.
And
it's that Muay Thai kick.
Muay Thai kick. Yeah. And the way he's trained and the way Vladimir Kozlov were trained, that would be one hell of a tag team. And Rusev it's sad that he's injured now.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say one thing I noticed for the past 2 weeks. His shoe game is on point.
Yeah.
He is rocking J's.
He's rocking
J's.
Yeah, he is.
And
it's a marketing scheme.
Oh, they don't even show the Jordan logo.
They don't?
They don't.
Oh, wow.
But he's just wearing them.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a huge sneakerhead.
Okay.
And I gotta give shouts out to Rusev because his sneaker game is on point.
You heard that, Rusev? Your sneaker game is on point, man.
On point.
On point. Strictly for my boy Erik, man.
Man, I ain't even gonna go into detail on the shoes, but the athletic ability he has, and his promos aren't the best since he doesn't really cut much promos, but when he does, you can feel the anger in his voice when he talks.
Yeah.
And the way he mixes Russian and English together is excellent.
Yeah. It's perfect. He is a perfect example of someone who will be a megastar. And I feel like, him being injured right now, it gives him more time for promos. You see the one he's been doing with Lana, like, why don't you, Lana, please. And just, you can tell he's totally playing off of that.
The way they call him was JBL. Wait, I think it was either Michael Cole. I think it was Michael Cole who called him a stalker.
Yeah,
Michael Cole called him a stalker. Lana.
Oh, man.
And JBL tried to defend him.
Oh yeah,
and
of
I
course.
wouldn't call it a stalker. I just call him a lovesick puppy.
Yeah, he's so lovesick. Please, Lana, please, I love you. Please come back to me. Just the way he sounds. He sounds like a little love-struck puppy. Definitely.
And what happened past Monday night? At the end of Dolph Ziggler's match, I forget who was facing that night, but he won his match, and Lana got in the ring, and you know how she normally has her hair up. He was leaning into her, Dolph Ziggler leaning into her, and he grabbed her hair and put her hair down, and I was like, Lana? I was like, oh, she
hair down?
She went from like an 8 to a 10, and she had a ponytail.
Oh
and
my goodness.
It was... And Rusev was in the back. He was heated. He was mad, and he was throwing his cane. He threw his crutch down, and just as Summer Rae came up to him and handed him his crutch, and now they're gonna have a thing with Summer Rae and Rusev, Lana, and Dolph Ziggler. But the problem I have with that is Summer Rae's an American. And Rusev ain't with that American business.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking they might try to lean Rusev towards America now, have him like in America, and I'm not really feeling that because I like Rusev as American hating Russian. He's not Russian now, he's Bulgarian. He went back to Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And I like him as an American hating superstar. And it may not work for him as much because he's not against John Cena anymore, but still having that on the side as a person that he is good to me. And I like seeing it.
They shouldn't take that away from him.
They definitely shouldn't. And him with Summer Rae it's not going to get that. I'm not going to give that vibe from him.
Yeah. Maybe interesting to see for a little bit, but not for too long. It could, it's always hard to predict, like, will it be good? Will it be bad? But us as wrestling fans, we've been watching it for a while.
We see how it goes.
We can kind of see. We can kind of read between the lines, It's one of the main reasons we have 2-hour conversations on wrestling, break it down match by match, and now we're doing the show. Now people can hear us. People can tune in and wow, hold on, wait a minute. Those guys were right about every card that night, or I can't say all cards, but
except when they throw us in the left field like they did at WrestleMania, because I wanted Roman Reigns to beat
win
so bad.
Man. We are Roman Reigns fans, guys. Sorry, Roman Reigns all day, man. Superman punch. You gotta love it.
And I gotta. Well, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
we ain't
gonna go too much detail, but I'm gonna talk about how they threw it in left field when they had Seth Rollins come out and cash in. People seen it coming. And people told me about it, but I was hoping it wouldn't come to that. I was hoping it wouldn't. But I was mostly disappointed, but a little excited because, hey, my boy Seth Rollins coming up.
Yeah.
But I'm not as big as Seth Rollins fan than I'm a Roman Reigns fan.
Yeah. You see more potential with Roman Reigns as you see with Seth Rollins. You see a lot of potential with Seth Rollins, his in-ring ability, his promos. But I feel like just Roman Reigns is that well-rounded star.
That John Cena.
He's that new John Cena. He's the new face. He's got a lot to work on. But he's an emerging superstar. He's a guy that's definitely going to make an impact.